This morning in Melbourne was much like it was here just even a few minutes ago. And at 2:32 this morning, AM that is, it was pouring in Melbourne. It was already quite muggy. And the street bakers were going into the bakery. There were three of them. There was Didiette, Human and Matt. They'd just gone into the bakery and turned on the ovens when the alarm went off, and I got the call in the middle of the night because they'd gone in early. Normally they don't start quite at 2:30, but they went in early to make you hot cross buns, as it turned out. So they turned up early and surprised our security company who rang me in the middle of the night to say that there was someone on site. So it was our bakers. This is what they were making you. So I know this man down here, Michael Jager, has already eaten some because I saw him while I was sitting down here. But up the back, I'm hoping when you leave, you'll take one of these. But for those of you who are in the front row, I want you to take one of these. There's one every second seat. I want you to break it open, and I want you to give half to your neighbour, and I want you to take a bite. Sorry for the rest of you. That's so unfair. Oh, thanks, Tom. You're going to taste a number of things. You're going to taste some beautiful aromatic spices. You're going to probably taste the beautiful glaze on the top that's nice and sweet. You're going to taste some beautiful organic plump dried fruit from the Murray River region. And you're going to taste something else in there which is kind of like the secret sauce of Street, because every single mouthful that you will taste right now is infused with freedom. So that's the taste of not just this, but of every single thing that we do at Street. It's a taste of freedom that you're getting right now. And not just a little taste of freedom, to give you a sense of how much freedom in here. There is so much freedom in here that a young person can break out of prison with this. And I know that to be true because so far 200 young people have broken out of prison with our food. I'm going to tell you about what it means to have something that gives you a taste of freedom and one of the young people who's felt that. So Charlie is one of our young people. He's been feeling incredibly free since he came to us a couple of years ago. He's free from the ice addiction he had. He's free from the welfare dependency he had. We've now given him amazing hospitality skills and he has now got a job in hospitality. He's free from all the trouble he was getting in with the police. He's an Indigenous young man, and when I saw him a couple of weeks ago, I want you to picture him. He always has a tank top on, he always has a baseball cap on backwards, and he's always riding his BMX. So he rode his BMX in to work the other day to say hi to us. But he had just come that last weekend from going 300 kilometres rowing down the Murray River with the police and a whole bunch of other Indigenous young people, because he's now a mentor for other Indigenous young people in a program, a mentoring program with the police. So that's quite a different type of freedom and a different relationship with the police than he's ever had before. He's also free from Parkville Prison, and Parkville Prison was the place that he was in before he came to us. You probably don't know it, but you've been seeing shots of Parkville Prison on the news recently. I'm going to show you a picture of what you've probably been seeing. The picture is going to look a little bit blurry, and that's because it's taken from the news helicopter, the Channel 9 news helicopter above Parkville Prison just a number of months ago. You probably saw this picture of the kids as they were rioting on the roof of Parkville Prison, and that's where Charlie had come to us from. Parkville Prison is one of those places that young people tend to return to. And the reality is, for young people who are in prison, the majority of young people who leave prison end up back in prison, and they're not just in the juvenile justice system and youth prison, but end up back in adult prison once they get older as well. What happened though is what's kind of remarkable for Charlie, because Charlie got a taste of freedom and he grabbed that opportunity with both hands. And food can do that. Food can absolutely turn your life around, and it can change your life, and it can give you a sense of freedom. When my partner and I started Street back in 2010, we opened the doors to our first 9 young homeless people. But we knew those young people would always also be coming from prisons, from detox, from mental health institutions, from the most complex environments that we could find in Melbourne. And rather than just fixing those personal issues that they had, what we were also trying to do is provide them with employment and pathways into training and employment. When we opened our doors that first time, there were just 9 young people that we had in the program, but now we've worked with over 800 young people and 400 of them really intensively. Those young people get training, but we also help them with their housing and their detox and their prison issues and all of those other things. So my team is a bunch of not just bakers, but baristas and chefs and psychologists and youth workers and social workers, and together we try and work a lot of magic. To give you a sense, so far we've provided 55,000 hours of training to those young people, and we've provided 2 million Melburnians with meals and coffees. Not one single one of those Melburnians has been mugged by those young people. Not one single one has been assaulted or has had something stolen from them. In fact, not one of those 2 million Melburnians has even had one of our young people raise their voice at them. And what we see every single day is young people who are given opportunities, and when they're given opportunities, they grab those and they can turn their life around. What's really exciting though is a new program we're about to start. At the moment, those young people come to us from prison and we're sitting on the other side of the prison walls, and we catch a young person when they come out. But in a couple of months' time, we've got a brand new program where we work behind the prison walls at Parkville Prison with the same young people who are on that roof. We have a brand new bakery and cafe that's on that prison campus, but on the outside of the wall. And every single day, young people will come to us on day release with their prison guard. The prison guard will be in the cafe and bakery with them, but they will spend the day with us getting training and being supported by our youth workers, social workers and psychologists. And we're really excited because what we believe is if we're sitting there starting those relationships with young people when they're behind the wall, as soon as they build those relationships with us and start to get a taste of freedom, as soon as they get out, they have somewhere to come and an opportunity on the other side of the wall. So for us, that's a completely new experiment, but we hope that what it does is it starts to diminish the number of young people who go back into prison because they've got a safety net there as soon as they come out. So if I go back to this picture and say, what do you see? What do you see when you see these young people? What does that look like? Well, for me, when I look at that picture, I see young people who have self-organised. I see young people with passion. I wish you could see the wall they had to climb to get up there. Onto that roof, there's this gigantic wall they had to scale to then help each other up. So I see young people who have had an ability to get together and solve problems. I see young people who have improvised and made themselves tools and know how to use a tool. The standoff of those young people came to an end with the police when the police gave them pizza. And so what I know is some of those young people really love food. And this is how the Herald Sun depicted it. So if I go back to that other picture, is when I look at those young people, I see future baristas, bakers, and hopefully pizza dough makers. So with your help, what we're wanting to do is fund the very first month of our new cafe and bakery to those young people. 1 month, it costs us $10,000 to operate that for 1 month with all of the trainers and the youth workers and psychologists and all the support team there on site with those young people. To give you a sense, it costs us more than $20,000 to keep one of those young people inside every single month. So this is a fraction of the cost because every month we can put through at least 6 young people and give them a taste of freedom every single month. So what I'm hoping tonight is that you'll give me at least some support for that first month. And that first month, you could give us a taste of freedom and give all of those young people an opportunity for the other side. So thank you. If you gave us more, well, that'll be 2 months, obviously. Even more, 3 months. So I'm going to say thank you in anticipation of your help. Bon appetit. Please take one of these home and taste freedom.